What is the purpose of Tarbiah? To change the behavior. We want to change behavior. But many people, when they try to change behaviors, they're doing it wrong. Because they try to change the behavior directly. Let me give you an example. A young boy, a son of mine, for example, comes to me and he says, "Dad, I decided not to go to school anymore." Just leave it. On the same day, my young daughter comes to me and says, "Dad, I don't want to go to school anymore." So this is behavior. So some people, when they try to change that, it's not up to you. You have to go to school. You're trying to force the behavior. Or, no, you should go to school, and if you go to school, I'll buy you a bicycle. So what are they trying to do? They are trying to change the behavior with targhib and tarhib. But it doesn't work. And even if it works short term. It doesn't continue. Because they didn't do it right. To change behaviors, you must understand and change the feelings that are behind the behaviors. If you don't understand the feelings behind the behaviors, then your work is superficial. So before I respond, I don't want to go to school. Before I respond, I must understand the feelings behind it. Why do you feel that you don't want to go to school? And suddenly you see different answers. It's the same behavior, but different feelings. So the girl says, "Dad, I don't want to go to school because all the girls in the school hate me." So that's a feeling. I asked the son, "Why don't you want to go to school? What's wrong?" He said, "Dad, I'm not clever, I'm dumb. So I don't belong to school." It's a feeling. Again, people start to work on feelings. But again, they are wrong. Because these feelings spur from ideas. There are ideas of car. Take the same example. My daughter, why do you feel, what makes you think that the girls in the school hate you? So I'm talking about what is the idea behind it. How did you get to that point? She says, "So-and-so made a party at her home and invited everyone except me. So they hate me." So she interpreted something in a certain way. That's an idea that made her feel that way and thus act or behave that way. And you go to the boy, say, "What made you think that you're dumb?" Say, "The teacher today said I'm dumb, and the teacher is always right." It's an idea that he has. But it's a wrong idea. So to change behaviors, try to change the ideas that made them think that way or feel that way. That is Tarbiah, which is unfortunately rarely done in our families and in our Jama'ah. Rarely done. They emphasize changing the behavior itself. But we don't stop at this. Two main sources for the ideas. Where do ideas come from? Two main sources of the ideas. The first one is external. External. Here is the effect of media, effect of friends, teachers, sheikh in the masjid, readings. All of this will affect how people think. So change that, and you change the ideas. Make them read the right stuff. Have them be trained by the right sheikh. Send them to the right school. Change the external. Let them see the right movies or the right entertainment. Because there is a lot that is not right. So change that, you'll change the ideas. And that's, for example, why those who study philosophy suddenly come up with strange beliefs, strange ideas. Sometimes it shakes their aqidah. So many shuyukh will say, philosophy is haram. It's not haram, it's not haram. It's how you do it, how you go about it, how you respond to these questions. There are people who are not satisfied with the general answer. You must give them philosophical answer. Anyway, so change the external. The other source, of course, is internal. So what is the external? Mainly media, school, friends, training, reading, and mentors, shuyukh, masjid, etc., jama'ah. So that, before I go on, who among these external factors have the highest effect on people?
Media.
Who thinks it's media? Raise your hands. Let me see. Others don't think it's media. Who thinks it's friends? Okay. Who thinks it's the school? Nobody? But of course, a major thing that I forgot here is the family. Who thinks that the family has the highest effect? All the answers are wrong. All the answers are wrong. It is not that way. It works like this. Between 0 and 10 years old, the highest effect is for the family. Until 10 years old, the highest effect is the family. Between 11 and 14, the highest effect is the school and teachers. Between 15 and 18, the highest effect is the friends. From 19 and above, the highest effect is media. Okay? Oh, and of course there are exceptions, but this is the general trend, huh? So as parents, for example, if you miss the first 10 years of Tarbiah, you delay it, they will learn. When they grow, I will teach them. You missed the whole opportunity. You have up to 10 years old. Now, another major question here. Why do people see or experience the same thing, but they have different ideas? Two boys, 18 years old, experience the same experience, saw the same thing, read the same thing maybe, but they will have different ideas. Why? It's the same external effect. The reason is the internal effect. Here is the processing of these effects. How do you process? So these effects will come to you. a young man, a young woman, a child, etc. So you try to process, and according to this processing, your ideas will formulate. And that's why they formulate differently, because people don't process information and effects in the same way. Can we change that? Can we change how people process information and experiences? Is it possible? Of course. Of course it is possible. That is the highest level of Tarbiah. Highest level of Tarbiah is when you change the way people process information and experiences. Huh? How do you do it? How do you change how people process information and experiences? Change what? Exactly. Some more. Change the thinking system, or yes? Education? Education on what? Teaching them what? That's my question. The most important things that you teach them, of course, thinking system, but the most important things are two. Logic and values. If they know how to use logic, they will process it in the right way, and they will refuse the wrong ideas, because it's not logical. And if they have the right value system, and they distinguish between fixed values that cannot change, and operational values that you change according to the situation, then you can process everything right. That is the highest level of Tarbiah. Where do most Tarbiah stop? Stops here. That's why it's not effective. That's what most parents do, that's what most brothers in Jama'ah do when they do Tarbiah. They don't see what's behind it. Think about it.
Can you give an example for Islamic history, for example? Some of the Sahaba, they changed their behavior to a model that the Prophet affected their feelings and ideas there.
Umar ibn Khattab, very clear, huh? You don't change personality. It's very difficult, and we don't need it, by the way. And Umar was harsh before Islam and after Islam. Abu Bakr was soft before Islam and after Islam. You really don't need to change the personality. You need to change the logic and values. So Umar ibn Khattab was harsh before Islam, and he used injustice, the wrong values, when he was harsh. Now when he became a leader of Islam, he was still harsh, but always just. And he was, before Islam, he would refuse anything. He is the master. After Islam, he would be corrected by a woman in front of all people in the masjid, and he would accept it. So what changed in Umar? Not his personality, his values, and the way he thinks. So it's a thinking system, yes. Right? Enough? So I tell my audience in my seminars, sometimes I get these revelations. Sufi revelations. So I tell them sometimes this is the most valuable thing in any seminar. Because yes, it is a distraction, but it is a valuable distraction. So thank you for distracting me from leadership into Tarbiah. But if you think about it, Tarbiah, we mentioned in our model, huh? That Tarbiah is part of our system, huh? Major part of our, after the discovery we do Tarbiah. Now if the Tarbiah was done wrongly, we have to fix it. How do we fix it? We fix it this way. We don't fix it by giving speeches. Wow. I can make you cry. I can make you laugh. But that doesn't change you. changes you for one day, half an hour, maybe a week, but it doesn't stick. So don't be lured by those who can make you cry or laugh or feel spiritual. It's nice. It's not effective. Right? I'm sorry for the Tarbiah view.
There are statements that you have to do certain thing in 40 days for you to affect change. Is it correct?
No, this is different. You're talking about something called habits. And there's a very nice book, new book. It's called, the name of the book is Habits. I think it's Habits. Anyway,
Power of habits?
Power of Habits. The Power of Habits. Really nice book. Shows you how habits are formed and how habits change. But again, you can change a wrong habit with another wrong habit. So again, yes, I must understand habits. Habits, you need, some studies say 21 days, some studies say 30 days. Very few that says 40. I'm sorry?
40 days.
Yeah, but the better studies, I have seen the 40, but the better studies and the more reliable studies are closer to between 21 and 30 days. That is why Ramadan is 30 days. It's a chance to change your habits. Strong chance to, because it's also the environment around you that supports you. And there are certain laws that will force you. So it's closer really to 30, but that's another story. Yes?
So for the method of Tarbiah, you said just now, is it possible that not everything, for the sake of Tarbiah, you have to follow this model? Maybe some certain behaviors you have to deal it differently, because there's many variants of Tarbiah.
Yes, indeed.
So sometimes
To be very scientific, this part is the essence of the science of Tarbiah. This is not my theory. There are theories on Tarbiah. The highest level, most accepted theory, most effective theory on Tarbiah is the one that is surrounded by the rest. The rest is to go into the details of it that I added. So if you want a general answer, yes, there are different methods. If you want a scientific answer, this is the best.
It's the highest form.
That is the highest form of Tarbiah.
But there are lower forms of Tarbiah.
But why do you go to lower forms if you have the higher? What's the benefit? It's only because you're used to it. So we really need to change how Tarbiah is done. Asma. Yes, he says, are there other forms of Tarbiah? I said, yes, there are other forms of Tarbiah. But the one that I surrounded, which is behavior, feelings, ideas, is not my model. This is a famous model of Tarbiah. And it is the most accepted and the highest. The rest that I added to it is my analysis and experience on how it works. So yes, there are others, but to my knowledge, by the way, this is hugely accepted by experts of Tarbiah, scientific experts of Tarbiah. The right one. The rest is my addition from my analysis and my experience in Tarbiah and in leadership training. Right, enough for that. The last question.
Maybe if you are given chance, you maybe would like to criticize or critique the Tarbiah of Sheikh Hassan Banna and the current form of Tarbiah of the Muslimin. How would you revamp the...
Oh, this is a huge question. I guess I do have answers and ideas on that. But again, this is a different subject. And we can switch to Tarbiah. So let's stick with leadership. Right. Any other questions before I continue?
Yes. Leadership, when you talk about leadership, you're talking about it can be good and bad leaders.
Yes.
Doesn't have to be good leaders. Meaning that leaders
Again,
lead right.
This is how you produce leaders, whether good or bad. Now, what makes them good or make them bad, I told you yesterday. Their goals and their ethics and their effectiveness. Bad goals makes bad leaders, bad ethics makes bad leaders, and effective makes bad leaders. But this is how you produce leaders, regardless of your purpose.
So you can say Hitler is a good leader.
Hitler is a great leader. Bad ethically. But from leadership point of view, the competencies that he had, it's huge. Huge. Changed humanity. So yes, definitely. Saddam was a great leader. Certainly. But a great leader in the sense of leadership, not in the sense of ethics. And this is, by the way, the start of Barbara Kellersman's book. She starts the book of bad leadership. She said, I was giving a lecture to the Jews in a synagogue. So I was talking about bad leadership. So I said, Hitler was a bad leader. She started to do that. So one of the leaders of the Jews objected. So Dr. Barbara, no, Hitler was a great leader, bad ethically. And she said that made me wake up. This is a Jew speaking about Hitler. So don't confuse things. Abu Jahl is a great leader. Now if you say that publicly, you can't. So, one day I was talking about the analysis of the leadership of the great companions. So I was giving, inshallah I will give you that later, how do we understand leadership and divide them, what types of leaders. So I was talking about that Umar was the kind that we call dominant leader. He's a dominant leader. Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu was the type that we call influential leader. While Ali radiallahu anhu was a balance between the two. So I was attacked on newspapers and magazines, etc. Dr. Tareq says Ali is better than Umar. Come on. I was talking science. Umar is a dominant leader. Ali is a balanced leader. Abu Bakr is an influential leader. This is how we describe them scientifically. I'll show you that later, inshallah. But people are sometimes, people have a sensitivity that is not correct. We have sensitivity towards Shia, we have sensitivity, anything against Hassan al-Banna or Ikhwan, we have sensitivity. Come on. When we talk science, there is no sensitivity. We go beyond the feelings, we go down, we go deep. Right, was